What's happening, people, man? I hope you guys are all blessed and well. You already know what time it is. It's the Liverpool Chill Zone, where we kind of look at what's been going on with our team and we kind of have a relaxed, chilled vibe conversation around all the craziness. The ship is kind of rocky, but we're here to steady it, man. Errol in the building to chop it up with me today, man. So big up to you first and foremost, bro. And how are you? Before we even
Fine,
start
bro.
talking about this club we
Bro,
called Liverpool.
I'm blessed. I'm not gonna lie. I've started the year the way that I wanted to. Personally, I'm quite happy right now. I'm quite content. I've actually got. It was mad. I did a little bit of work with the club just before Christmas.
I
Um,
saw the video
and
still.
yeah, the video
Yeah.
the video dropped, and it was a good video. But
Mm.
my gut feeling at the time was because I've done a couple now. You read the room a little bit, and the one I did at the beginning or the middle of last season,
Yeah.
it dropped just after the Newcastle result and then going out with PSG. So it was like even though we was riding a wave of like a relatively good season,
Mm.
that week was probably the worst week to drop Liverpool led content because
Yeah.
we had just been dumped out of the Champions League and then we'd lost the Carabao Cup final. So views wise, people aren't really feeling to go and watch the players having fun and doing side challenges. So I kind of got similar vibes this time round, and the content was unbelievable. The way that they've clipped it, the way that they've edited it. In my mind, I was like, this is probably one of the best pieces of content that I've done with them for a minute. But the reality is, I'm probably not expecting it to do numbers just because
Mm.
it's certain situations, this one, that one, the other. But it's done really well. Like we haven't even been out for a month, and we've done over nearly 700,000 views on YouTube alone. Obviously, the
Nah, cold,
analytics
man.
from the socials will just be next level. So I've got one more other thing to run, and that'll probably drop next week as well, which is something different. But that's just going to come out across socials. So looking forward to that. And then of course it's just more of the same, trying to level up, trying to just keep going. Obviously, jump on and work with as many creators, content creators, different platforms as possible. Get the name out there and just keep growing as organically as possible. I don't like to force it, bro. I'm not one of them that like has to.
Mm.
I'm not begging it from this one needs to have me, that one needs to have me. Like no, like any channel I go on or any creator that I do content with is because I genuinely enjoy watching their content when I'm not in it.
Nah, appreciate it. Nah, because
Opportunity to be
we've
a
done a
part of
few
it.
bits
Yeah,
together as well, haven't we?
yeah, of
Even
course.
Redmen 2, there's a few videos that you've invited me over to chop up stuff around Liverpool and but normally we're in the Lions Den there because we haven't been doing good when we was doing them videos. And we're still at we still haven't been, but obviously the ship is now steady, man. Look, I don't know where to start. Thing I kind of had uh, a few bits that I wanted to kind of chop up and probably maybe your overview on the season so far and even the result because you're listening to a few of the callers on the call and you see that even after a draw, the fans ain't happy at all, man. Like we're
Bro, but
not.
I wasn't happy though because I've so the same room. I'll come in here after the game and I'll do me little TikTok video, and I'm
Mm,
sitting there and I'm going, we've just lost, and then I have to check myself to remind myself that it wasn't a loss, but that is how I feel, and the fact of the matter is, it's never acceptable to draw games at home to teams like Burnley. That's cannon fodder, lad. That's not acceptable as far as I'm concerned. Do you know what I mean? Like, and the mad thing is, as Liverpool fans, we might not be world football coaches and badges and
mm,
all of these things. We and again, I'd say this for most fans of most teams, they know their clubs inside out. So I've seen Liverpool struggle to Burnley numerous times down the years with numerous managers, with numerous players,
mhm.
because the Burnley have a way to be very dogged. They have a way to just sit in, be stubborn, and be hard to break down. Like if I know that, why is and I'm not saying that the new manager it's only him because I've seen other managers struggle with it, but why is not the intent to just absolutely go hell for leather and just absolutely go for the jugular? Let's not just try and like manage a game because we can't manage games of football right now. We haven't got that in us. It's not in our locker. Let's just go and absolutely leather the team and just slap them up and down Anfield for 90 minutes. And even if we only do it, even if that's the intent, but we've only
Yeah,
got 25 minutes worth of being able to do that, at the end of those 25 minutes, you might be 2-3 nil up and you're cruising. And it's a completely different game. Liverpool are just struggling with that. And again, I don't want to just crash on the manager because it's definitely not all of his fault.
Mm.
But I think if we know that though, lad, come on, book it out.
No, listen, I'm with you because we obviously jokes aside, we talk about the 12 unbeaten now because I feel like, and just to see the temperature in the room, and most of the guys like, nah, and you can't keep saying this 12 unbeaten, and I'm like, nah. On a real though, what do we expect him to kind of do? He went for a spell where nine losses in 12. Now he has to try and steady the ship because his job is on the line. So I'm trying to think from his standpoint, what would, if I was in his predicament and I lost that many games and I already know the fan base is already about to go after me. What do I now do? I have to make us difficult to beat. And I have to try and nullify anything that's going to kind of disrupt calls.
But are we difficult to beat though? Because at the same time, Burnley played for 5 minutes. It took them all of 5 minutes to score the goal. So if they would have played for 15 minutes, it could have been 3-1 and it would have been dark. Do you get me? Like teams know, provided we can stay in the game long enough against Liverpool, they will give us a gilt-edged chance. And all we have to do is be there to just accept it on a plate. It's Oliver Settings. Please, sir, can I have some more? Bink! There you go. On a plate. Go along. Like, that is just a reality for us at this moment in time. And it pains me because, unless I've just said this on another show, the reality is he had principles last season that I feel he's fully went the other way from. And
yeah,
I do appreciate the fact that you say, yeah, you know, you want to stem the stop the rot essentially by just being a little bit more difficult to beat and break down. And I understand the logic behind that because yet the 9 losses in 12 was just completely unacceptable, and you know the season was ready to implode in on itself. However, when you look at it, I'm thinking, why have you kind of turned your back on your principles? If you said, and again, from my perspective, you set out the standard last season and say you're accepting top 4 now. You're saying that we're not going to push for a Premier League, which I get. Obviously, mathematically, it makes it very difficult. But you said in one of your first ever interviews that you're not here to just be in top 4. You want to win the big honours. You want to win Champions League. You want to win Premier Leagues. So why now have you stepped away from that because you've been burnt a little bit? And you think, whoa, the heat of that fire is too much. And I'd rather just, you know, accept that this season there might be a little bit of a transition. I just want to, go out there with a bit of courage and have a little bit of conviction and believing that, all right, then, we might not be able to win the Premier League this season.
Yeah.
But I will be damned if there's a team that plays better football than Liverpool Football Club this season. Just go and do that. Go and play the best brand of footy then. I don't know. Liverpool, we just won the league.
Yeah.
I could feast of watching good footy. Even if we was getting back to 5-4s or, you know, Brendan Rodgers and it's 3-4s and, you know, there's some mad topsy-turvy results. I could feast on the fact that, yeah, we ball out. We've got Florian Wirtz ball. We've got UNTK balling out. We've got Frimpong, we've got Salah balling out. All right, yet defensively, we might be a little bit all over the place. And I feel sorry for Virg because Virg has been a colossus. But we are the best team to watch. We are not. So no longer are we competitive to the levels that we want to be competitive. But we're actually a really dull. I'm gonna be nice. And say we're a dull watch.
Nah, do you know how many times? Because I do the call-ins after every game. After every game, we've done the call-in. I think I missed maybe one this season. And it's crazy, like, listening to the highs and lows. Like, we come off of a win, but then there's still areas where they think we could tweak and we can be better. And then we lose, and then it's a complete meltdown, crash out. And then there might be a win where you're like, do you know what? Today, at least we saw 60, 70 minutes of football. But at the moment, I think it's the inconsistency. Like it's 45 minutes of good, and you think I can build on this.
What did you think of that first half yesterday? What did you genuinely? What did you think of the first half?
I thought the first half weren't too bad, but then I'm just like, I've seen us play better, but now I'm used to a level where I'm used to us being here, but now I'm like, this is like our standards now. I'm kind of go, okay, as long as it looks like we're gonna create, as long as it looks like we're gonna offer up some sort of a challenge in the game, we look busy, then I'll be like, do you know what? All right, not a bad first half. Because I've seen us do nothing for first halves. I've seen us literally play side to side to side to side, backwards, side to side to side to side, try and get it into the midfield, lose it, transition, and I'm just sitting there going, why am I sitting here watching this? Like I'm watching it going, we're making the game so easy for the opposition. Leeds was the most easiest game of football I've ever seen them play. I don't think they sweat. Them Leeds players, if you wholeheartedly just went up to them and said, was that a difficult game, mate? Like, did you?
They'll be honest.
It'll be honest. He'll be honest and like, nah, that was easy. Because I'm watching them going, oh, they're just playing in front of us. No one's running in behind. No one's really.
Bro, I seen a stat the other day. Sorry to cut you up there. I seen a stat the other day saying that we was the out of the top 6 teams. I think it might have been Spurs at the very bottom of it. But out of the top 6 teams, we have attempted to play the second to least amount of through balls. What? We're not playing man in behind. What you got like a TK that loves to run into a channel, but we don't want to feed the ball into channels or into those spaces for them to run into. What? So we haven't now. Salah's lost a yard of pace. We don't want to try and slip it in between the fullback. Like, where's the intent gone? And I thought yesterday, to be fair, and again, I said it in post match, credit where credit was due. The patterns are playing that first 45 minutes. Yes, sometimes you want the output to be a little bit better, but across the board, we moved the ball pretty well. There was a lot. There seemed to be fluidity. I heard one guy coming on the call and saying there was no fluidity, and I was like, I would strongly disagree, because in that first 45 minutes, obviously it was all Liverpool. Burnley weren't really in it, but that was Burnley's job to just kind of weather the storm for as long as possible. Liverpool had obviously had a number of opportunities where supposedly I should have scored the penalty. Kirk has put one across the face of the goal. Jones should really be running across the front of his man instead of waiting for it at the back stick. He should be trying to make that run across his body. At least put him under pressure, because he's able to just clear his own bar. And then we eventually get the goal. There, for me, with the 3 big chances that we could have had in that first half, that would have made the game look and feel completely different. But I'm like, I was just saying in the watch along, more of the same. I want more of the same, not retreat and play within yourselves and just try and be sterile for another 45 minutes, because we've got a lead and we don't really need to do too much. Because like I said to you before, it only took Burnley 5 minutes to warm into the game and say, right, well, we'll play a little bit of footy now. And then that was it. That 5-minute spell was enough to undo all of our hard work after an hour. Almost, 65 minutes, yeah? So for an hour, all of our hard work that we put in for a whole hour was undone 5 minutes later. And then the lads know that they haven't got the minerals at this moment in time. The manager knows he hasn't got the solutions from the bench and his tactics at this moment in time to say, right, this is how we now wrestle the game. It's like, oh, we've been here before. And it's almost that we're feeling sorry for ourselves. I don't want you to feel sorry for yourselves, boys. I rate you lads so highly, like
to feel sorry for themselves.
You can't be feeling sorry for yourself.
Nah, it's like, you're right, because you just think, why haven't we found solutions yet? Like, what? It's not Burnley's job to make it easy for us. And I know Arne Slot's come out and said things about, there's ways certain teams play and they play a certain way against us, but it's not their job to make it easy for us. It's not their job to try and play football. The Premier League is filled with different types of teams and different ways and different styles with completely different managers. You probably look across the rest of the world in their leagues. Most of their managers are probably from that league. So they have a brand where they go, this is the way we play throughout the whole league. In the Premier League, you might have low blocks.
I didn't even know until this. It might have been this season or back end of last season. To be a manager in Italy, you've got to have a degree. like you've got to do like a whole thesis on your football or some shit before they'll give you a job as a manager. There's levels to it, but that makes their brand of football. Do you know what I mean? Like, as you said, it makes that league what it is, because the managers have to be. It's almost like an initiation. The managers have to be initiated to be able to be of a caliber to be able to go and manage.
Come in the Premier League, isn't it?
Whereas the Prem's just a mixed bag. It's got all sorts, and I thought that was what Slot was able to do really well last season. He seemed to be able to just have.
Why has he gone away from it though? Because He had his principles. He said everyone had to work hard and track back and do all of that great stuff. He started. You could see little tweaks, and I go back to his first season, pre-season. I was like, from the goalkeeper, punch it into the forward, little set into the midfield, round the corner to Mo, and then we was in. And I was like, oh. Then I saw set pieces. Then I saw against Arsenal, it was like, oh, we'll attack you in the first half. And then we just went into a low block. He said, come and break us down then. And Arsenal couldn't break us down. I was like, oh, so he's building on when we attack, this is how we're going to attack. But then also, if we have to dig in, this is how we're going to sit in and play. And for some reason, he's just gone, the league is now won. We're gonna try so, and a lot of times he kind of mentions the PSG game, and I'm like, bro, I hear it, and I hear the PSG game was one of the games you enjoyed. I hear it, but you can't now try and create your team as a PSG team. That might work.
When you haven't got the profile,
they can't work in the Prem.
Not when you haven't got the profile of players from front to back to be able to replicate it. In my opinion, anyway. But I think, and again, one of the things that really frustrated me going back to yesterday's game ends was, you know, if you disagree with me, let me know. But yeah, I thought Kirkes had a particularly good, especially first half. I thought he had a good game, but first half he looked like a bit of a standout player. Frimpong, I think he's probably had his best 5-6 weeks in a Liverpool shirt for us. He was good yesterday as well, in particular in that first half. Florian Wirtz, I think he had really good moments yesterday and showed, you know, the levels that he obviously has got when he's just given that license. And we don't get the goal without Hugo Ekitike's determination to just pluck that ball out of thin air and make something happen out of nothing. So they're 4 players that we've brought in that individually, to a man yesterday, actually didn't perform under the level. They probably performed to the level we would have been hoping from the start of the season. But it's the collective unit that still can't manage a game. That still can't.
Feels like they don't know. It doesn't feel like to you they don't know each other. It feels, and honestly, because I thought about it, and I was like, I know a lot's going to be made around. We signed a lot of players. We signed what? Isak came in, Ekitike came in, Kirkes come in, Frimpong's come in, Wirtz is coming. Cool. But then you look at the squad in general, and 90% of them you would say has played together for at least 3 years.
3 years at least.
So you look at it and you go, how are you guys struggling like you don't like? And look, and they say football is universal, so everyone should. There's times when you don't understand someone's way of playing. You don't know when they're going to make the run when they want it. You don't know if they want it to feet. You don't know if they want it in behind. There's certain things that they might do, and you're trying to learn, build a little bit of chemistry. But for the rest of the collective, it feels like they don't even know each other as well. It feels like they're just playing, and we're just like, yeah, this is the first time I've met this guy. This is the first time I've seen Virgil. This is the first time I've seen Kanai. This Soboslav never played football with you before. Gravenberch, you're new to the squad. You literally just joined 30 days ago. Like, that's the way we feel. We play with such anxiousness within them. It's like as soon as something doesn't work, and it doesn't even have to be a goal. It could be like a tackle, a pass. Yeah, it's just
we haven't beat a newly promoted side at Anfield all season, and we're the champions. I repeat, newly promoted sides have come to Anfield and not held corn, and we are the champions. Like, that in itself is just wrong. You know what I mean? And it's not to say that just because they're newly promoted, you should be rolling them over. But you as champions should be laying down markers and establishing, all right, yeah, we're gonna go throw hands with the top 6, and it could be close. But there are going to be teams that are going to be cannon fodder in this league because we are just that. We are him. We are that team. And at the moment, and I was brazy, I was stupid, I was chatting, we're the apex team of the league. We're the apex predator. You know, when we've signed Isak and we've got Wirtz at the start of the season. I don't even want to look back at early TikTok videos that I was doing in the summer because I don't recognize that guy. I don't recognize who he was and what was filled in his head, the dreams that he was sold to believe that we would be able to beat.
We weren't wrong with the dreams that, because we all thought it. Most 99% of Liverpool fans was looking at that summer going, we just come off the back of winning the league. We had an extremely great time at the parade in the rain for 10 hours, standing around, kicking around a football, you know, fireworks going off, whatever it may be, meeting new people, like just a vibe. Mosh pits was going on as well. It was crazy. The music was mad. And then you go, right, what can we do? We lost Trent. You go, that's the tough one to do. But then you started buying players. You started telling us that Verts was available. You're telling us we're going to do everything as we possibly can to go and get Isak. Not only that, we're going to go and get a Katike. Not only that, we're going to go and get Kirkes. Not only that, we'll get Frimpong in as well. And we're still looking. We're still trying to hunt down, you know, defenders as well. We're still looking to see if we can add to the squad. So nothing was wrong with it at the time, innit? But now you look at it and you're like, maybe I shouldn't have said nothing. Maybe I should just
just nodded and smiled. Yep, you're doing business. Yep, good, good. But I do, and I think for me, and again, if we go without being too kind of like I'm trying to do a bit of revisionism or anything like that. I think I felt it then, and I very much feel vindicated in why I felt it then. And again, we're at a point in the season now for a number of reasons where we will never definitively know the truth of the matter. But there was speculation that Liverpool would slot getting the wing backs of a Kirkes potentially being converted to a wing back. Frimpong, that's probably been his best position that he played for in Leverkusen. There was obviously the talk of Gahey coming into that back line. Obviously, you got Leone in as an additional body, but Gahey would have probably made up that back line, and we might have moved to a back three. Like I say, speculation because we'll never know definitively now. But for me, if that is the truth of the matter, that Gahey was supposed to be that integral to the system of us changing the way that we move with obviously the wing backs and everything else that comes with it, that to me is where I am absolutely seething. Because if he's the linchpin to your whole setup and your whole system and all of your blueprints and your plans have been bought around the fact that he's going to play free out the back, and you can't leave that silence at the 11th hour. I am sorry, but you have to prioritize getting him in, because even if we didn't get Alexander Isak, we'd still had Hugo Ekitike, and you might have said we'd have been light in attacking options. And again, I agree, Salah would have obviously still went to AFCON. Cody Gakpo has been indifferent in terms of form this season. He's been a little bit of hit and miss. So I agree, we may have still been light up top, but if it meant that we'd have actually had the defensive base and the rest of the team allowed the midfield to be able to go out, maybe you get more goals. Maybe Vert and Szoboszlai get 10 goals between them, 5J each, whatever that looks like. Maybe they pick up the mantle a little bit. So for me, and for Josh there, I'm not necessarily saying that I think Gahey as an individual was, but if the plan was to go to the three at the back, you have to prioritize getting in that linchpin of a player that is going to hold that system in place. You can't then just say, oh, we'll get him in at the 11th hour. We'll wing it. We'll get all these other pieces in. We're going to play that way, but we'll just wait until he comes in the door the day before the transfer ends, the window ends.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
That doesn't make sense to me. Like, if he's going to be such, or if that piece is going to be such an integral part of how you play, then you've got to make sure that you've got it to be able to see it in pre-season, to be able to test it, to be able to see if it's sound, to be able to then see if it's got legs to go through into the season. And I just think that was massively, massively mishandled by us. And that's where a lot of my frustration still to this point is rooted from, because, like I said, we'll never know. But if there was a chance that that was what we was going for, Liverpool moving so far away from that has now left Slot working on the fly, because everything that you've planned to do,
feels like it.
You can't now deliver on, because you can't depend on Joe Gomez to be that third man in defence. You might have thought, right, let's wait until the Carabao Cup games kick in. We'll see if Leone plays well, and then we might be able to see if we can do. He goes and gets injured, and he's done for the season. So all of a sudden, you're back to now winging it because you can't go with plan A. You've not been able to execute plan A all season because you haven't got the personnel available to do it. There may have been some games where Canate got rested, but Robbo pulls in and he's the left-sided centre-half, and you still have Kirkes next to him. He may have moved over in the last couple of months of his contract into that sort of role. He's done it for Scotland before when Kieran Tierney's next to him.
Gone to the left,
Gone to the left. So there might have been that thinking, but that might have been very select games, Carabao Cup games, games in the Champions League. You might think you win. Burnley potentially. Do you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
you now can't build a season round having Robbo as your third centre half. Not if you want to, you've got serious ambitions of winning something. So all of a sudden, your plan A is never going to get the chance to see the light of day. So now you're winging it. And I think the players know now that you're winging it. And if the players know you're winging it, do they have the faith that you know, at least
you wouldn't have it.
And the reason is, and the reason I say it ends is because at least the season before, there was already a pre-established blueprint for him to work off.
Yeah.
So even if we're saying, right, we've seen that you can work off something pre-established, now you come up with your own plan A, but you've not even been able to come in your own plan A. So you can't even execute that. But now you can't go back because we haven't got the Trent in the situation to do it. Sobbo doesn't really want to be playing right back all season. You've got Bradley, you've got Frimpong. What do? You've been winging it, game in, game out, living in the moment, trying to just see the wood through the trees. And we've been so far off it this season, lad. And the maddest thing for me, is I think the board have resigned to the fact that this season's a write-off now. And I think that's probably the most disappointing thing on top of it all. And that makes me just think, as fans now, there's no point in us getting vexed. There's no point in us getting mad.
That's what I was thinking, you know, bro. Because I was commenting. I'm like, sure, because if they wasn't happy, they would have done something like they would have done, you would have done. There would have been something being done. Something would have said, bang, you got 3 games. Bang, you got 5 games. Bang, you got up until this day. But there's like been nothing. There's just been an era calm. There's just been and you know when I knew it wasn't gonna kind of go anywhere. It was from the Mo Salah interview where he took the heat. So the interview went viral. Everyone was talking about it, and it took the heat off of that Leeds game because it was 2-0 up, 2-2. Went to win the game and then conceding in the last minute. And I knew that day, that's where that you can't explain. There's no way you can worm or say something that can get you out of what's about to come. The heat that was about to hit you that day, there was no way you could hide from it. But then when Mo done his interview, it literally, no one even remember the game. The game went. And then what it ended up doing was forcing other people to come out. Players have come out and said, look, back the manager. We know there's a direction there. There was just things. Allison's had to speak. Curtis has had to speak. Virgil's had to come out.
Szoboszlai.
Szoboszlai had to come out. So then
Mac's comment. Bro.
Mac said some stuff. Mac said, listen, if I speak, I'm in big trouble. Bro,
literally though, and I think that's the problem for me. And I just think, there's a level of like the board. I think the player, and again, on a human level, I get why the players are tuned out when it's not going their way this season after everything you've been through in the last 12 months. I get why they're like, I'm doing it feels like I'm doing a job. It doesn't feel like I'm living out my passion and my dreams right now. And I get it and I hear it. So I've got time for them in that respect. But there's a way to deal with certain things, and the way that they've come out and said, you know, some of the comments that they've come out and said, and you just look at it and you're just thinking, there's a lot happening behind the scenes that's rare, that they're really struggling with at the moment as a collective. It's not just 1 or 2 individuals. As a collective, they're really struggling with certain aspects of playing under this manager, whether we like it or not, whether they want to play for him or they don't. And I think sometimes, like, when you've gone through something like that constant, and I thought he handled a lot of the issues, and again, I think there's a level of how he's handled things that in the last 12 months that have been absolutely brilliant, and you just think, because we are so emotional, he's just managed to take emotion out of it rather than driving us into it and letting us be in our feelings over certain things. But then there are other things where I'm just like, but these lads may have just needed someone to want to wrap their arm around them this season and tell them everything's going to be all right. And they might not want to have been treated like robots in a system. They might have just wanted to be able to just express themselves and remember what it felt like to play football as an 8 and 12-year-old. And do you know what I mean? Back home, and I think one of the things that I think from Maka, or one of the reasons why Maka's probably been I think even more of that is because of the mentality and the environment. We took away his homies. You took
Took
away
away his
Diaz.
role as well.
Yeah, his role, but you took away his people. At the end of the day, he comes home from work, his family, his missus, they'd be round at Diaz's or they'd be round at Darwin's, and there was a little click there. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
He's taking that away from my man. Sat there on his own with Scousers and Dutch, and he's like, who? What? Say that again? Like it's not the same vibes anymore. So I just think. Yeah, people saying, "Oh shit, Allison." Yeah, but Allison's our elder statesman in this team, and he is very settled. He's very grounded. Like it's very different. Do you know what I mean? Like McAllister's still fairly young. Do you know what I mean? And as I say, you mentioned it before. They'd probably been playing with each other for the best 2 to 3 years, so he was quite happy and settled with his little clique. Yeah, there's just a load of stuff in that. As I say, we could spend ages on it, but I think there's a lot to be said for the way Slots has a bit of a distance between his players, and I just think they struggle to buy into somebody that isn't really able to really just connect with them on that level, to be like, no, look, I'm going to inspire you, and through these moments of adversity, something good can come from it, because this is this is how life can be sometimes. I think there's something to be said about it, but it's hard, lad. It's such a hard situation to unpack, this Liverpool one for me this season. But I thought 2026 hit a refresh button mentally. They'll snap out of it and think it's a new year. We'll feel fresh and let's just go. And it just feels like it's just going to linger on, and it's like a bad smell that won't go away.
It's still. You're right. We thought, and I thought that literally we'll figure things out. But for some reason, it feels like they just need a hard reset and just go back to playing normal football. Like, don't worry about all these tactical stuff, and just go back to just connecting passes, getting the ball in behind, attack at speed, and then getting shots off at goal. Just go back to just doing that and win your draws. Because at the moment it feels like everything that he's trying to tell them to do, it feels like it's just overcomplicated. And that's why I was thinking, like, the fans overreact.
I picked up on that in the Barnsley game.
Yeah.
I think Szoboszlai just went on stink, because he was like, why are you over coaching us to go and play Barnsley? Why do I need 100 instructions of how I should be playing my role against a lad I've never even heard of? Ever. I'm Szoboszlai. I'm a Premier League winner. Let me just go and do what I do. And I think that's why he hit the goal that he hit. I think that's why he was moving mad arrogant.
Yeah, he
that's
didn't.
Why he was nonchalant with the back heel. I think it was just we don't need a script to beat these. We're just going to go and beat them. And it's almost like we need an element of that, but it's got to be balanced, because even that can go wrong and go left a little bit sometimes. But that was the vibe that I got very much in the FA Cup game. It was to the point where, how much are these getting coached, and are the players buying into it? Because I don't think the players believe they need to be coached in this set of circumstances.
No, not in them games, man. And I think that's where the unease comes from the fan base with the manager as well, because there's things that he's just saying. Like, he's just saying. Obviously, Wirtz was saying, "Look, it feels like a defeat." It did, and you mentioned it as well. Even though we didn't lose, we drew. But I think at the moment, being the club and the big club that Liverpool is, a draw is a defeat. Like, the draw come in a circumstance,
especially at Anfield.
You shouldn't be dropping points there, man. We remember days of like, that's a 3-0. That's a 2-0. That's a 4-0. You just knew that they look across at the guys in red and go,
it's long for them.
Long day, innit? Yes.
I said it on the show yesterday. I said, you got to remember, Burnley aren't Norwich. Burnley aren't the team that are nice to just play against, and you just know, they're just going to be open, leave the door, gaps all over this, and we're just going to put 3, 4, 5 past them. They're not Norwich. They're not like that. They are stubborn, and they will sit a low block. They will throw every single body on the line if they have to try and again, you've just got to be ruthless with them. And from once you score from your first 2 attempts, they give up, because they know it's going to be long. But if they can see that we've blocked one off the line, and we cut one, cross there, we've done all of a sudden they just grow in confidence and belief. And like I said, teams' objectives with this Liverpool side at the moment is stay in the game long enough for Liverpool to give you your opening, and they will.
They will. Do you know, I had a question here for you as well, because I want to know, chat, big up everyone. I know we've been engrossed in the conversation, but I appreciate you guys do all that great stuff you already know, but I appreciate you guys are being here, just listening in on the conversation and throwing your 2 pence in. But I wrote this down. I was like, do you think Liverpool are trying to, no, sorry, let's read that again. What do you think Liverpool are trying to be? And do you think fans are judging them against that, or do you think they're judging them against memory?
Ooh. I think we're judging them definitely. I think we're definitely judging. Well, I'm judging them against memory. I remember great Liverpool sides. I remember, even last season, at the start of last season, like the confidence, the free flowing football. That midfield felt like an engine. It felt like Gravenberch wanted to be a little bit more anchored, doing that role. I think he started to believe his own hype, and that's not to say that he hasn't got the talent to go with it. But it's then how do you deploy him? If he's believing in his own hype and his ball playing ability, is he really best suited to be in your six in your team? That would be my argument. So I'm definitely going back to memories and thinking about it in terms of blood. What are we trying to be?
Yeah. That's the one I've been
and you've been saying you've been calling on that, and I've got to give you props, bro, because you've been saying it for a while. Like, I remember conversations we had end of October, early November. You were saying, "What are we trying to be, Errol? Like, what is it? You tell me what we're trying to be." And this is where I go back to: was the system supposed to change drastically, and did we get all of the right pieces into being able to do that? And if we didn't, then he's never been able to enact his plan A, which then means he doesn't know what he wants us to be with plan B, because he's got all of these pieces now that he didn't have last time, and he's like, well, how do I get the best out of these when I simply do not know another way where I feel it's optimal to work with these? Yeah. And look, and the maddest thing is, my thing was, I was going to judge him more critically this season on his Champions League performances than his league performances, because again, I was naive, I was an idiot, and I sat there and thought the Premier League will take care of itself.
Nah.
We'll be there or thereabouts, and that'll take care of itself. And then when the fans turn up because we think we can win a league title, it'll all get spicy. And
you do remember that Errol, do you remember we support Liverpool, right? Nothing's ever easy.
No, nothing's ever easy. But I just genuinely felt like we had started to assemble a super squad that just knew that that was just gonna be food.
It's felt like we've gone against our own beliefs now. Do you know what it felt like? Liverpool went to change, and the changes affected us. We've gone go and get superstars when that's never been our thing. It used to be we create the superstars.
Exactly. But I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, what's that like? At the moment, yeah. We remember when, is it Sully from Top when he turns around and goes like, you either eat or you become the food to get food. Like the league this season was supposed to just be food. We were supposed to just eat the league up and just deal with it, because now we had the superstars to do. So I was always looking at the Champions League to kind of really, really scrutinize the caliber and level. And is he really amongst Europeans' best managers? The best managers in Europe, let's be honest. And I can't even sit here confidently and look at it in the same way now, because I'm like, the league form's been that bad, even in the Champions. I don't know even if you get a kind run, if you've got the minerals and if you've got the capacity, big man, to really help us win a Champions League or push. And that was my thing from November. I said, Liverpool fans, we need to be realistic now. The league's done. We need to now establish a way of playing, refine what our style of play is, use the league as a there it is, Josh. You're either a monster or your food, and I'd rather be the monster every day of the week. Blood fire. But yeah, say for yourself that you use the league as your training wheels.
Yeah.
Build your momentum, build your system, build your style of play, trial things. Your results may be a little bit up and down. I'm not expecting as many losses or draws at this point. I'm just expecting it to be a little bit rocky. But by February, you've now got We always finish the league strong. Apart from last season, ironically, we normally finish the back end of the season pretty strong. You're probably going from February to the rest of the season now with the way that you want to play going forward. You've now found it. And it's about, right, let's fine tune it. And we've got some big games that matter. And as soon as games matter to Liverpool and the fans, we're right up for it. I can't even say that that's a possibility right now. Like that hasn't happened. I haven't seen enough evidence to say that that's how it's been used this season. It doesn't feel like we are any closer to being able to establish what the style of play is and 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 who those people are that are in this team that are indispensable. Like, you could take Florian Wirtz out, and is it going to look much different?
Nah, to be fair,
You know what I mean?
he stepped up a little bit.
He stepped up. I say individual
Yeah,
qualities have come through, but I'm talking about a system. Like,
yeah,
like we played Barcelona without Salah, without Firmino,
yeah.
but we had Shaqiri and we had Origi, and they came in
They cooked.
on job with a purpose. Do you know what I mean? And understood the roles and the responsibilities. It's like, I'm not saying it has to be like for like, but they was able to come in and utilize their assets. We haven't got that at this moment in time. You take certain players out, you throw other players in, it's still stale.
What's the city been like, bro? Because obviously you're there firsthand. What's kind of the what's the people saying? Because obviously the community that I've got here, no one's truly happy in terms of what's going on with the manager. They don't see the direction. They don't see what we're trying to do. They want him out. Most of the people that are,
My
I've done
group chats are
polls.
on fire. Most of my group chats with the lads by ours are on fire, lad. Do you know what I mean? I'll be honest with you, they're not happy. And they're brutal because they've got no nuance. Like, these men are, proper thoroughbred scousers that have just got no nuance about them whatsoever. They're not asked. They're gonna call a spade, and they're just gonna say it how they feel. Do you know what I mean? And
Mm,
again, they're not horrible people, and they're not like reactionary. They've just been Liverpool fans from birth. The first baby grow was a Liverpool coloured baby grow, and this is just not acceptable by anybody's standards. I think one of the things that I highlighted as well was the Villa game when we obviously played Real Madrid, played Villa. I was in the ground and he was chanting his name. So to me, it felt as if the fans in the ground understood that, yeah, actually, we've been spoilt. He came in, made the league look easy. He's had a difficult
mm,
12 months, all things considered. But he's going through his first real tough patch. This is October or
yeah.
November for reference. He's going through his real first tough patch. We're Liverpool fans. We're not going to be plastic. We're not going to be reactionary. We're going to stick with you. We're going to chant your name. We're going to get behind you, and we're going to make you feel the support.
Mm.
Yesterday, however, there was booze, and I just think it's a case of we've been trying to support you, but we need to see signs of something. We need to see signs of life because we're on life support still. We might go 12 games unbeaten, but how many of those games have been draws? Got more draws than Sully and Duchesne, for what it's worth. Do you know what I
No,
mean?
it's true because I even
Like,
heard Gerard yesterday as well. He had a shift in his conversation as well. Like, it's unacceptable. Where before he was more he was tiptoeing across the line. Obviously, he's not gonna want to say anything and make the club look bad or try and say certain things to make the manager look bad. But it felt like he was like, look, if Liverpool needs me, I'm there. And it was, look, I'm not calling for him to be sacked, but we just need to be a little bit better. But yesterday, I can see the fan in him come out. Yesterday was fan Gerard, like, yeah, now I'm
yeah,
not feeling this because he wants us to win as much as we want us to win,
yeah.
and it just felt different.
Patience, my guy there, and he's saying we've not been spoilt in the Premier. I'm not saying the entirety of the Premier, but obviously the last 6, 7, or
Mm,
since from FSG's tenure of being owners of Liverpool Football Club and bringing in Klopp, not only have we seen incredible football that's
mm,
seen us win everything, we've also seen incredible players that you mentioned before. We turned into world beaters. We brought in Alexander-Arnold, became a world beater as a fullback. We brought in a Virgil van Dijk and Alisson. So we've been spoiled with quality. There's been quality around this club for a long, long time. We look like we've been devoid of quality. And the thing for me was in 2021, when we lost Verge that season, I looked at them and thought, wow, the players look like they've been space jammed, you know. Like there's a lot of it where they look like they've just been space jammed, and I feel sorry for them. This doesn't look like they've been space jammed. This doesn't look like, as you said before, this doesn't look like these have been football players. Like these look like these are some Madame Tussauds clones of these man that are just bad team wish versions of the players. They're imposters. They're impersonating like
Real players.
legends though. They're impersonating legends, and as I say, I don't know how they've mentally processed it as a collective, because it can never be an easy thing, and there's no right and wrong way. But what they're having to go through, we're not making it any easier for ourselves, having some really dull and stale football. That's why I said to you, I'd rather be entertaining, even if we're not going to be competitive. Go and be the best. Go and have the best brand of. Give me the best brand of footy, even if it means I have to hold a mad result against Fulham or Wolves, or go and make sure that I give all the top teams a game. Go and make sure that we play some really good football. We score loads of goals. Okay, yeah, we concede far too many. Not good enough. But we can work on that. Because Klopp did it. Klopp worked on that. There was a lot of good footy. There was a lot of good goals. There was a lot of moments where you was off your seat, just absolutely like in bedlam. And then you'd be in disbelief that we just conceded the sloppiest goal that you've ever seen in your life. But he knew that he could fix that. How do you fix this? How do you fix a team that got that soft, such a soft underbelly, that a team only really needs to step up and do a bit more of a high press, and then get possession of the ball for 5 minutes, get a couple patterns of play, and put one or two through balls in, and they will get a goal.
Do you know how crazy that is? Do you know, like looking at, and even though when we're in possession of the football, I never look at the other team and go, they're panicking. No. And that is weird that you can have that much level of.
We panic. We panic because we can see the signs. We know the warning signs. I get no beige 100%, brother. Like 100%. We should. This is why I was so gassed. Go and watch any of my videos from the summer. I'm chatting about domination. We're here to dominate. Apex predators of the bro. I'm saying the most. I feel ashamed. I genuinely feel ashamed. So we
had the right to say it when you said it, man. But he said he heard boos, but he said, look, listen, I didn't hear boos. I just heard frustration.
Frustration,
yeah. Yeah, he said he just blanked out the boos. No, there were boos, mate. They were, you can't blank it out. It was there. And you're right. I think we just need to find a way to play a good brand of football, but that's not in him, though. That's not him as a coach. He doesn't have that in him where it's that. Bro, yesterday, did you watch this? Did you catch any of the City Man United game? If we play,
bro, I would rather concede the ball and give up the ball and bop teams on the counter attack with a little bit of pace and like pure intent, if it meant we was going to be clinical and ruthless. Like, I don't mind us not having all of the ball. There's more than one way to, like, having the ball in possession but doing fuck all with it doesn't bode well. Doesn't give me any great comfort. We're not managing games of football effectively. Like, I can't get gassed because we had 76% possession. What did you do with it? Like, genuinely, what did you do with it? Like, as I say, I would rather say, as a whole unit, we're going to defend. And you might say, that's not the Liverpool way either. And I think, no, fair enough. But we're going to defend as a unit for 40, 45 minutes. And we'll give you the ball, do what you want. But we're going to defend and we're going to be dogged. We're going to throw everybody on lines on the everybody's going to put the bodies on the line. And then we can talk about our openings and our moments to pick yous off once yous are tired. Teams just watch us. They just watch and think, okay, they're going to go side to side.
Do you know who we can't do that against, right? So I said that I saw this earlier about the Athletic saying that he's going to be backed. I don't think the fan base are going to enjoy this too much. I don't know everyone, but let's say a strong 70% of people probably going to have a problem with this. There's probably going to be a swing in the 30 going, do you know what? Give him time. He did win us the league in the first season. Let's just see what kind of happens. But we got this game tomorrow against Marseille, and they're one team that can bop the ball. I don't know if you've caught any of their games, but they play football. They play at speed. They don't care. They'll leave you one. I don't know what we do because this game could be a make or break. This could be where Liverpool go, do you know what? 5-1. Or we could end up getting like smoked. Absolutely smoked. I don't know where your head is at with this one, but this is going to be an interesting game.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, I got off. I got offered tickets to go as well. I had to turn it down, man.
He said, "No, I can't see that."
No, I'm not moving to that one. But I said this is where this is crunch time now because to me this is where our season is hanging by a thread, and I want that automatic qualification. I want to alleviate a little bit of pressure, and I want these lads to be able to dust themselves off and have a long, hard look in the mirror and say, nah, we've still got aspirations this season, and anything can happen in the Champions League, especially when you put on a Liverpool shirt. That's it. And I think there's something to be said about tapping into that, and I think Slot needs to. If he had any, like, again, I don't know on any way, on any level, but if he's learned anything about this club, he should understand that there's a power there to be harnessed when your back's up against the wall and all of a sudden we're now the underdogs. Feed into that. Utilize that seize mentality that people are expecting us to shit the bed. Don't prove them right. Go out there and prove yourselves that you are champions on some level. Do you know what I mean? The season we lost the league to City by 1 point, we knew we was champions. And how did we prove it? We went and won the Champions League. Because the lads knew, all right, we might not be able to beat this machine, that City, but we are champions. But the only way that we're going to get the respect that we deserve is if we're lifting up some silverware at the end of the season. So we have to go out there and lift up the Champions League, and he did it. You need to remind yourselves that he's a champion and that he's worthy of winning stuff again. And look, it's going to be an interesting game, but for me, it would make a massive, and again, it alleviates even more pressure in terms of his role if he does just get it over the line. The automatic qualification is we know we're going to be in the round of 16. You know we're going to keep hold of you till March then, realistically. And then anything can happen if you just get a kind run of the rub of the green in terms of that draw. So I'm desperate for some sort of Champions League swan song this season because I want it for Verge, I want it for Mo. I want them to have one more before either of them have left the club. And I thought this season,
give them 2 champs, 2 prems.
I thought this season was geared up for a Champions League one as well, if I'm being honest with you. Boy, it's going to be. They're not going to make it easy. They're not going to make it easy.
Where do you see him then? Because look, listen to what Gerard said on TNT, saying, look, this Champions League week's going to be the difficult week for him, especially with the Heat. The Heat turning up. Obviously, we're hearing mixed information that they're backing him. Some people are unhappy. Some people are kind of calm with it. But if he goes and lose this game, and then with Alonso not having a job, could that swing it where they go, do you know what, let's just act now and get it over and done with? Or do you still think they'll just go, do you know what?
I'm not sold on Alonso. I said your boy...
people that aren't either.
I said your boy Savage, bro. I said he hit the nail on the head last night for me. I came with similar analogies myself. It's the said thing, bro. Like, what? Yeah, your girl thinks Anthony Joshua was buff, sound. I'm still me. You know what I mean? Our business. Like, I'm still me. Like, no, I'm nobody's second choice ever. Do you know what I mean? You made your bed. And that's not to say that there can't be a mutual understanding at the right moment in time. But I'm not getting rid of one to go and get somebody that wanted to bin me off for somebody else. No. Not right.
Was that 100% though? Did he turn us down though? Because I know I didn't really see
the. That's how I felt. I felt neglected. Okay, cool. I felt neglected. Do you get me? Like, I thought we had a good thing going, and you just go along. So I said the problem with me getting rid of Slot pre-Alonso was I didn't know what we was going to step into. Who was we going to get? And sometimes it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't, especially when I felt at the time that there was still things to play for within the season. If we could
Yeah.
start to establish a style and a bit of confidence and instill that winning mentality again. Now that Alonso is there is the question mark of, well, FSG have done it before. They've been very cutthroat, got rid of Brendan and brought in Klopp because they believed he was their number one. Depends where Alonso was on that pecking order and that shortlist. Was Alonso their number one? And is that availability the right reason for him now? I go and liken it to the Amarin thing, though. Do we really want a strong arm Alonso at this point in the season when Alonso might just want to take the next 3 months off and go again, new season after the World Cup? He might want to dust himself off. And if that's the case, I'd have more respect for him being like, I'm going to dust myself off. And if we need to talk in the summer, we can talk in the summer. Because I think, and I said to you before, I think the club have resigned this season is a bit of a write-off now. The fact that we didn't get Gay, the fact that we didn't go in for Semenyo, to me, it just feels like the club have accepted yet what we wanted to try and achieve this season hasn't worked. So there's a very strong reality that we're going to have to plan accordingly for the summer, but we'll only be able to really understand the full depths of those plans once it becomes very clear that we'll be in the Champions League again next season. And I think that's why they're quite happy to concede this season, which to me I'm gutted about, I'll be honest, which is why it's really up to the players now. It's up to the players to have that little bit of pride about themselves, say, well, you might have written off. You might not be getting us no players in. We might not think you've got the best brand or style of football, but we're going to go out and we're not going to get beat. So it's going to take a super team to have to come and beat us. And that's why I'm hoping a miracle of some description can happen. But yeah, the rest of the back end of the season, it's going to be rocky. It's going to be indifferent. I don't particularly think we're going to play an exciting brand of football for the rest of this season. And I think the people in charge of Liverpool have probably accepted that this season is going to be underwhelming. So as a fan, I'm not prepared to lose my head. I'm not going to be pulling my hair out. I'm not going to be I'm not going to be crashing out. I'm not, because why should my energy and effort be more than next man? Nah.
Nah.
Not at my big age. I'm not 16, 17. I'm not 16,
Yeah.
17, 18 no more. And now especially I've seen the Premier League. I've seen the league title. I've seen it all. This is life. This is football. This is sport. It happens.
Do you think that will come across though, Errol, as like, the standards are now low when we're writing off the season? Can you see where some fans will be like, yo,
but
this is kind of crazy?
It's not me that I still want to win.
Not you, but I'm saying, can you see where if they've gone right the season off, we're not giving no more players, they'll be like, rah, so Liverpool Football Club, us, we're just writing seasons off now. It's just like throwing seasons away.
But bro, I'm one of them, yeah. Talk your talk all you want. I'm judging you on your actions. If you weren't writing this season off, you would be getting me a defender.
I know, I'm with you.
You'd be future-proofing my defence, because our defence has got one man with 1 foot out the door that we can't lock down on a contract. Whether we like it or not, that has to be resolved. And the longer we leave it, the more precarious of a position that leaves us in. So go and get me the defender now, so I don't have to worry about that being a thing again for the rest of the season. Put my mind at ease. We still potentially need a left winger, some additional firepower in that attacking line. Go and get me. I need a defensive-minded body that he is prepared to use. He's had Endo all season. Bro's played about 3 games.
Bro, Endo could have...
He's had Chiesa. Like, move these guys on. Joe Gomez, bro, I rate it. You've won 2 Premier Leagues. Thank you for your service. Go long. Like, I thought sentiment left when Klopp left. Why are we still...
that was his speech, though. He was like, yo, no one's more important than anyone. Like, that, everyone has to dig deep and work hard. But then it felt like there's favorites. I'm like, you can't come in after a year and have favorites. You can't just you can have a starting 11. You can't have favorites.
No, I don't think it's about favorites, though. I just think he just doesn't rate them. So if I don't rate you, I'm not playing you.
All right, I hear that, yeah, but how can you could, okay. You can watch someone in training and go, yeah, he's probably not. But some guys are really good at training, can't show it on a match day. Some people are shocking in training, but you throw them on the pitch and throw them the football, they look amazing. I've seen so many players that I'm like, bro, this guy couldn't even pass in training, and then he's in the game just cooking. How can he have that sentiment when he's not even giving the guys enough minutes to go, do you know what? Let me see. Throw them into games that you go, that's a game that you should go and show me something. Or if you don't want to do the whole, I'm just gonna put you into a B team selection and throw you in there and say go perform, I can put you in a senior game. Like there's no one that can tell me Endo can't come in and play in a senior game for Liverpool Football Club. That can't come into DM and go,
why couldn't you play Burnley yesterday? What would Burnley play for 5 minutes, dog? 5 minutes. You're telling me Endo's not got 5 minutes in his legs to just shut up shop? Bro, man.
Well, yeah, these are the two centre backs. Bastoni and Schlotterbeck are the ones that we're now the spiral and the spin is now. So
and Van der Ven, yeah,
and Van der Ven, yeah. Those are the...
But this is what I'm saying. I'm judging you on your actions. So the players might not have given up on the season. The manager might not have seemingly given up on the season, even if he doesn't have all the answers. Fine. But from a hierarchy, the intent to me just suggests that they are aware that Liverpool are going to underperform this season, and they are content with allowing it to run its course, and then they will try and course correct from the summer onwards. Now, to me, that is negligent. I don't rate that. I don't rate that approach. I'll be honest, and that's where, if I had to tier and layer where my angst and my frustration lies, that at the top of the tree. You, man, there now, I've got my eyes on you, because how are you going to let Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk, two of our biggest legends in our Premier League era, go out sad like this? You sold them, man, a dream. You told them that we was going to get all these players in so we could go and start to dominate, and you can go and win another Prem, and you can go and win another Champions League before you leave. That it had to be. I don't business. Otherwise, Salah would have collected the big bag from Saudi in the summer. Virg would have went to Real Madrid or went to buy. Bro, like, you told them you was building a dynasty that they was going to be able to usher in, and all of it halfway through the season, you said, "Nah, we're going to scrap that plan actually, and we're going to just start doing things from the summer when they've all got 1 year left." I just don't. Maybe I'm just looking at it wrong, and maybe my head's all over the place. But I just don't like that. I don't like the actions that I'm seeing. Is what I'm saying.
Nah, fair. Look, we'll finish up on this one. Big up to Honesty. He sent me this team. He said when everyone's fit, this is the 11 he would go with. And I said, nah. Do you know what? I'll ask Errol what he thinks. Chat. Let me know what you guys think as well in terms of shape, personnel. If everyone was fit, this is what he would start and how he would start the game.
Just any game or
just in general. That's his 11. That's to start. Yeah, to start. Say fresh season, everyone fit and ready. That's the 11 we're going with.
Probably, yeah. If everybody's fit, I'd probably throw Leone in right now. I'm just being honest right now. If everybody's fit, I don't know why there's not a conversation to say, yeah, Kanate, you can hold bench at least for 45 minutes and see how Leone gets on. But yeah, I think you're probably there or thereabouts. There's probably, I think Jones has probably been all right for us this season. I think he's probably performed better than Maka. So yeah, I think there's an argument to say that probably is the best lineup at this moment in time going forward.
Nah, I don't know who I'd take. I don't know, man. At this point, do you know how confused I am about this team in general so much, bro? I don't even know who I would start and who I wouldn't. I feel like there's like people that can start Ekitike, Jones, Soboslai. Those are the ones for me that's kind of kept their head above water this season, where they just performed when you've asked them to. I think the rest of them has had like a season where they probably look back at it and gone, yeah, that probably wasn't my best. I could probably do better there, and I could probably do better here.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. Definitely think that's fair.
But Errol, man, big up to you, bro. Appreciate you jumping in, man.
Bro,
Great.
blessings, man. Thank you very much for having us, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's just we need to. We
I wish
hopefully.
I said it to you the other day. I said I wish
Yeah.
we'll have at least conversations on better terms, like, because I hate being negative, lad. Like, that's just not my energy. It's not my aura.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm an upbeat person, but when I have to
Same,
be
man.
like critically thinking about things, I'm also very much a realist, bro. Like, you can't pull the wool over my eyes. I'm not an idiot like that. Like, and I speak what I feel and what I see. And as I said, it's the same in any walk of life. I don't let no gal, I don't let no boss, nobody talk to me and just tell me and sell me dreams and talk the talk. If you're not prepared to walk it, I'm very much gonna have an opinion on it. I need to be able to see it. So
yeah. We can't see it at the moment, man. Chat, listen. Big up to you guys. Let us know in the comment section how you guys, what part of the show you liked, what parts you agree or disagree with. Keep it always respectful. Errol, man, appreciate you, bro. Do you guys have anything popping up on your side?
As I said, I will be on LFC. I will be on LFC socials this week at some point. All going well. So yeah, that will drop. It's a fun little bit of content. That'll be interesting. And then I'm on with Potts tomorrow, doing the 12th man, probably about 8 o'clock. And then what else have I got? I've probably got a couple more days in the studio where I'll be popping up throughout the rest of the month as well. So yeah, more of the same, and then hopefully, as I say, just build on for the rest of the year now and kick on. But yeah, big up man like Sadio Mane as well. I keep saying,
yeah, I was about to say
I haven't seen it, so need to go catch some highlights. But yeah, blessings, bro. I appreciate it every single time. Make sure you like and subscribe as well if you're not already locked in. Lock in. Carno Ends has been out here. He's been outside holding the fort down. You're doing a service because right now it ain't easy. It ain't easy. It ain't easy being posted outside when things aren't great, bro. I know the feeling. So keep doing.
Do you know the crazy one as well? The guy's always like, bro, the call-in is the one because they get a chance to come and vent their frustrations because they're like, if not, I just lose it. Some people have stopped watching games. Some people are like, I can't be bothered. What was it? The Arsenal game I couldn't be bothered to watch.
I went and watched that. I went and watched that with my brother and my boy's Arsenal fan. When I watched it in a local, and yeah, it turned out to be quite a good game. It was probably one of our better performances. I enjoyed. I sat there for a while, but again, it's that kind of the pride and the mentality thing with us of there's something on it. There needs to be something on it in order for them to do it. But yeah, 48.
What it is, man. Look, we got Marseille Wednesday, and then who do we have in the Premier League after that?
I want to say.
I feel like there's a Newcastle.
There is a Newcastle, but the last game of the month. Last game of the month. That. Yeah, it's Bournemouth away.
Marseille and Bournemouth, boy.
Yeah. 2 away games. Love it.
On paper, we should be winning them, but let's see. At the end of the day, it's Liverpool Football Club, man, and we're peace, everyone.